Today we're diving into the controversial Digital Information and Smart Data Bill, a proposal that could redefine privacy and identity in the UK. But at what cost? The UK government is pushing for a digital identity framework to replace traditional IDs. This isn't about convenience, it's about control. A centralised system for storing and verifying our data opens the doors to potential misuse and privacy violations. With cyber attacks on the rise, how safe is your personal information? The bill, which proposes enhanced data sharing between law enforcement and the NHS, while that sounds practical, it raises serious concerns about overreach. I mean, do you really want your medical records accessible by the police? The Information Commissioner's Office claims the bill balances data protection with innovation. But even they admit there are gaps. Clauses allowing retention of biometric data like fingerprints and facial scans that lack safeguards. Worse still, biometric data could be retained even if the individual was found innocent. Who decides what's necessary or proportionate? The government says the bill will boost economy. But at what cost to individuals? Critics argue it prioritises business interests over privacy, making personal data a commodity. What happens when your digital identity becomes just another product for sale? The Digital Information and Smart Bill is being framed as a leap into the future, but it feels like a step towards a surveillance state. We're all aware of how sensitive personal data is, but recent events reminds us just how risky these platforms can actually be. Take the DNA data breach of 23andMe last year. For example, over 6 million people in the US and 4 million people in the UK had their personal genetic data exposed due to a cyber attack. That's a huge breach of privacy and highlights the vulnerabilities that these apps face. Now consider if these issues were part of a government initiative using apps like Yoti. The recent 23andMe breach saw over $30 million in damages and stronger security measures, such as two-factor authentication and data encryption. But are these steps enough? If even a private company struggles to protect our data, what about government apps? How can they handle more sensitive information? How can they guarantee our protection? They can't. Like the 23andMe breach, government apps like Yoti could fall prey to similar issues if these systems aren't secure enough. Personal data could be at risk. This raises serious questions about the reliability of these apps and the handling of government IDs and sensitive personal data. We need to consider the real risks involved before we rely too heavily on these technologies. This incident underscores the risks associated with handling personal data online, which could easily translate to government ID apps like Yoti if not properly secured. The potential for misuse or unauthorized access to sensitive information remains a major concern. It's a reminder that we need robust security measures before we can trust apps to manage our personal data.